Hello friends, and welcome back to Naturally Sprigs as I continue cleaning up and moving my garden. So I do have a few things that survived the winter frost, and what I'm doing is as I pull things out of the garden, I'm just putting these posts up so I'll remember where they are once everything is moved out of the garden. I'm not worrying about the actual, cleaning what I'm going to keep versus what I'm going to get rid of. I'm going to move everything down the hill, and then I'll work out the rest later. Because I still do need to plan out how my garden will look down the hill. Now I'm just pulling up the landscaping fabric from this side of the garden. And if you remember, this is where I had attempted to grow some of my greens and cabbage and such. So I will be trying that again, but down the hill this time. All right, got everything packed. Oops. All right, let me fix that. Okay, I got that taken care of. Now I'm going to be moving the two planter bags. So each one of these has 4 sections. This is where I grew my root vegetables, my carrots, my turnips and such. So I'm going to need to try to fit this on this wagon some kind of way. Yes, so I went ahead and dropped the side gates down. So this is where I had mentioned in a previous video that I could do this option in case something needed to go on here that was wider than the actual wagon itself. Alrighty, got that up there, or at least the first one. Okay, before I can move this landscaping fabric, I do need to move the vegetation that did survive. So I'm starting off with this red kale. It's kind of like a purplish kale, really. And then I'm not sure, I can't remember if this was the purple cabbage or purple Brussels sprouts. I want to say it was the purple cabbage. I hope to have plenty of this year. And I have to keep an eye on this because some of the cabbage and possibly broccoli, that might be purple broccoli. But anyway, they look like they're going to seed. So I'm not sure if these are going to make it, but we'll see. And this ginormous, this rather large bush here is the sage that I was able to salvage from last year's garden. If you remember it from a previous video, I had a large sage plant, that I was able to keep in the garden in the 2022 garden. Well, it's still here, 2023. So it technically lasted from 21, 22, and now 23. And as I mentioned before, sage is frost hardy. Here's just another, I'm not sure, like I said, if this is cabbage or broccoli or what it is, because they do have a tendency to grow similarly. And over here where I had my okra, I also had one sage plant that survived. See, most of what I companion planted with the okra were basil, so they did not last, but the sage, that one plant did. And then I have another sage. So I think I may have roughly four sage plants. And then I had two of them left over from the tomatoes that I had companion planted. Now this, if I remember correctly, is my borage. Borage was recommended as a companion plant to help again some pesky bugs and such. So this will be moved as well. All right. So let me move them down. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna go ahead and plant these sage plants amongst the tomato cattle panel. I don't have any tomato plants in quite yet. I haven't even started my seedlings, but I will get on that soon. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these established. And as you can see in the spots that were cut open from the previous garden, within the landscaping fabric, the grass is starting to grow up in there, which is okay. It's definitely easier to deal with than if I had this area completely open. So okay, so what I've decided to do is I'm going to take the larger sage plant and plant it on the other row, my other tomato cattle panel, row, kind of at the end here. So I hope it thrives here. So this will be its new home. Trying to make sure I get a deep enough hole because this is a larger plant and it has a lot of roots to it. So I just want to make sure that it gets in there pretty good so that the roots are not exposed. All right, I'm just tucking and making sure everything is in place and that the roots are covered. Now, as far as the cabbage and broccoli and such, like I said, I can't remember which plant was which, but I'm going to go ahead and just stick them in these bags for now. These will not be the permanent location, but it's the best location for right now. And that's the kale that I mentioned earlier. I can't wait to try it actually. I didn't get a chance to try it last year. And I believe this is a red cabbage or possibly red broccoli, possibly. I will be sure to get water on these plants as soon as possible because as you see they are wilting. They need water. And this looks completely dead, but there is a small piece of life on there, if you could see that. That's also another kale, a red kale. All right, I want to go ahead and get this last landscaping fabric up to prepare for the additional cleanup because I will be tilling and mowing this area to clear it up. This is a lot of work for sure. Oh dear. Oh God. I was fighting this bee here. Okay. Okay guys, I'm out.